G'day guys and gal. Man, I have been dreading this video. How are you supposed to make a lore video on a Space Marine Legion that Games Workshop is even unsure about? I don't even think Alpharius knows what is going on. If he was alive, which he might be, who knows? Ha! Psych! I'm the god of lore. I know everything, even things that haven't been written yet. As such, who better to tell you about the mind-bending Alpha Legion than me? Luton? Pfft. Arch? No chance. One Mind Syndicate? Don't make me laugh. If you hear anything that doesn't sound quite right or correct in this video, that is because your perception of the lore is lesser than mine. Even if I say something that directly contradicts published writing, I am still correct, as the writer's perception of the lore is less than mine. I'm joking. If you're new here, I'm not this much of a delusional egomaniac. I'm actually Alpharius. Sorry, so I'll try to stay away from shitty memes this video. Before we get started, I have a question for you. Are you sick of not being able to watch your favorite shows in your country? Are you tired of your government's oppression of your use of your own internet? Do you wish you could be Australian online? Well, now, with the help of today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN, who are running an 83% off promotion as well as 3 months free. Ooh baby. Now you've seen VPN ads on YouTube before, I know I have, and you've either rolled your eyes because you're happy with your $1 per month glitchy VPN that is low-key a virus, or you don't understand what a VPN is. Basically, a VPN lets you put yourself in whatever country you want, whilst also masking all your online activities. So if you search up some questionable shit, then nobody will know about it. Surfshark VPN is incredibly easy to use. You get it, download it, and bam! Just click whatever country you want to roleplay as. Click, I am the German. Click, I'm American. Click, I am no Indian. If you're stuck behind the Great Firewall of China, Surfshark VPN will let you knock on right through. But Majorkill, none of your audience is Chinese. Silence your increpid mouth, Timmy, before I turn on my VPN and do bad things to you that no one will ever find out about. There are plenty of countries, Australia included, that have some kind of restriction on their internet or can't use certain region-locked websites or softwares. With Surfshark, you know you have one of the best quality and reliable VPNs out there. And if you don't like it, then they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Thank you Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Today we'll go over who the Alpha Legion are and where they came from. We'll also go over the life and maybe death of Alpharius, as well as what his twin brother Omegon is up to. Then we'll try and figure out if the Alpha Legion is actually loyalist or traitor, or both. Let's get into it. The glorious Big E, Emperor of Humanity and flawless father figure, knew that if he wanted to achieve his dreams of galactic conquest, he would need a diverse cast of children to achieve this. He would need builders such as Rogel Dawn, he would need leaders such as Horus, and he would need mentally disabled kids so he'd seem progressive, such as Angron. He also knew that he would need some kind of subterfuge, hence he created Alpharius, who instantly pulled a fast one on the Emperor and revealed that he had an identical twin, Omegon. This put the Primarch count at 21, which would be a pretty unaesthetic number for an OCD nut like the Emperor, so he hid the knowledge of Omegon's existence in order to maintain an even number. Before his Primarchs could grow up, however, 4 salty assholes called the Gods of Chaos abused the Primarch's mother's postnatal depression and got her to throw her 20 children into the warp. Bitch move by her. Each Primarch was scattered across the galaxy and landed on a different human-occupied planet. Some Primarchs landed on civilized worlds and easily became their leaders. Other Primarchs jetted at their planets like a meteor and had to crawl their way through molten lava to get to the surface. Alpharius and Omegon, well, it's not actually clear what happened to them, especially not Omegon. There have been rumours and theories based on solid evidence, so we'll go through those instead and you can try and choose which origin story you like best. Weirdly enough, all of the following potential origins admit any mention of Omegon. The first theory is that Alpharius landed on a technologically advanced world that was soon invaded by some hentai tentacle monsters that killed everyone except for Alpharius. They thought he was so interesting, so they instead tortured him and did tentacle hentai stuff to him. The Emperor soon arrived and was absolutely livid as to what was happening to his son, hence he genocided the hentai monsters and brought Alpharius under his care. The second theory is that he landed on an empty planet full of dead cities and was forced to fend for himself for years, until a Xeno pirate ship arrived to loot the planet and was quickly massacred, then commandeered by Alpharius, who then went off to find the Emperor. The The third theory is that Horus and his lunar wolves engage in a space battle with a renegade human fleet, and despite winning the battle, a lone ship boarded Horus's flagship. The man in that ship then killed Horus's bodyguards before confronting Horus. Horus then realized the man was a fellow Primarch, Alpharius. The fourth and final theory is that Alpharius was never taken by the Chaos Gods, and instead was raised since birth by the Emperor but was kept a secret. Now, if I was a lesser YouTuber, I would say, it could be one of these, it could be all of these, or it could be none of these, like some smartass wise guy, but I'm not going to do that. Remember, Alpharius was the only known Primarch of the Alpha Legion, so anyone that saw Omegon would assume he was Alpharius. I believe that Omegon was saved from being given to the Chaos Gods, hence he was raised alongside the Emperor. Due to the Emperor wanting to keep Omegon as such a big secret, it's likely he kept his gestation capsule separate from the rest of the Primarchs, so when shit hit the fan, he wasn't actually in the room. As for Alpharius, he either escaped a dead planet then attacked Horus, so combining theory 2 and 3 together, or he was indeed mind raped by hentai monsters and doesn't want to talk about it, so he came up with the second and third theories as a cover for it. Bam! Mystery solved. While Alpharius and Omegon had their mysterious upbringing, the Alpha Legion had an equally if not more so wacky time. They, along with the Space Wolves and Salamanders, were part of the Experimental Legions, created with very specific purpose in mind, hence the Alpha Legion barely took part in the Unification Wars, beyond a couple of their agents performing secret spy missions to field test them. Despite their good performance, as well as their stable gene seed implantation rates, their numbers were kept deliberately small, only 5 to 10,000 compared to the other legions who were aiming close to 100,000. It's not particularly clear why they were kept small. Maybe the Emperor was waiting for the Primarchs to be ready, or maybe he was concerned by the prospect of having a full legion of super spies. Either way, the Alpha Legion did fuck all until their twin Primarchs assumed command. As an interesting note, despite Alpharius Omegon being the shortest of the Primarchs, Alpha Legion Astartes were very tall. So tall that if some of them were given Alpharius' armor, then they would match his size. With 2 Primarchs, the Alpha Legion rapidly grew and became a force to be reckoned with, winning stunning victories at the Battle of Redacted against the horrific Redacted. I remember when Alpharius, when all seemed lost, wielded the legendary sword of 1,000 Redacted and slayed that which had no life. In seriousness, the point is that whilst the other legions such as the Ultramarines had a very clear record of what they were doing during the Great Crusade, the Alpha Legion did not. We do know, however, that they often deployed in mass against Xenos, whilst when faced against human foes, they just used small covert squadrons to take out key targets and break the enemy without even needing to fight them on the battlefield. They would cause so much confusion and chaos that by the time the full might of the Alpha Legion attacked, it would be more like slaughtering headless chickens than anything else. Unfortunately, being overly secret and fighting with absolutely zero honor did not tickle many of the other legions' pickle. The Alpha Legion were distrusted, as even the legions that fought alongside them had no clue what the fuck they were doing most of the time. There were numerous instances where a civil war almost broke out between the Alpha Legion and other legions, even before Horus had gone full jihad mode. Despite this mistrust, the Alpha Legion continued to be an extremely successful legion, achieving numerous known victories and countless more unknown ones. Their legion size was also unknown, but could genuinely be considered the largest during the Great Crusade due to their low casualty fighting style, as well as their really stable gene seed implantation. They also grew fond of using non-Astartes as valued assets. After all, it's a lot easier to get agents to blend in with the enemy if they aren't 8 foot tall roided up autismos. As time went on, things got worse. Sure, initially the other legions were being stuck up assholes and discounting the very effective and valid methods of the Alpha Legion, but then Alpharius started showing off. Every planet they encountered, even ones that were more than willing to join the Imperium through negotiation or just by threatening them with big guns, had to be defeated in the most particular and intricate ways, which often involved a massive expenditure of resources and human life. It would be like your mate asking you to get him a beer out of the fridge, and instead of walking over to it like a normal person and just getting it out, you spend hours creating this hectic domino train that would somehow result in the beer ending up in your mate's lap. However, the bottle would be smashed, or most of the beer would have come out of it by then. So yeah, good for you, very impressive, but also the result is shit and your mate is pissed off. When Alpharius was asked why he does this, he answered, because otherwise it is too easy. This was the final straw for a lot of Primarchs, most notably Gilliman, who said the Alpha Legion were a bunch of untrustworthy egomaniacs who treated the Great Crusade like a game. By this point, however, the Alpha Legion depended on nobody except itself and had grown even more. Soon after this, Horus's mind finally shattered after decades of doing his best to fend off his ever-impending boldness. Hence, he fell to chaos and began dragging the other Primarchs and Legions down with him. Alpharius and Omegon did join with Horus, but the reason for that is confusing and frustrating. At a glance, it seems fair enough. They were shunned by the other legions, save Horus's, and already displayed a lot of shitty traits. Their fall seems way more justifiable than Mortarion's or even Horus's. However, the truth is that despite turning on the Imperium, they stayed loyal to the Emperor, or at least they thought they did. See, the Cabal, a group of really powerful Psychoxenos who are also massive arseholes, approached Alpharius and Omegon and showed them two futures. Future 1. They help the Emperor beat Horus. Horus dies and humanity slowly decays over the course of the next 10 to 20,000 years, until the entire galaxy is consumed by chaos, or maybe the Tyranids. Future 2. They help Horus beat the Emperor. Horus takes control of the Imperium, but feels really bad about what he did, plus Chaos has a terrible administration abilities, hence the Imperium tears itself apart after a couple hundred years, causing humanity to go extinct and killing Chaos due to them burning themselves out and having no fuel. Either way, it was a bit of a lose-lose. Alpharius decided that the true goal of the Emperor was to beat Chaos, so he would help Horus thus ensure Chaos was destroyed, in order to fulfill what he perceived to be his father's dream. Omegon, on the other hand, wasn't so eager to do this. Remember, if Omegon was indeed raised by the Emperor, then he likely knew more about the Emperor's vision, and that fighting him to fulfill his vision was extremely retarded. Omegon knew both options were shit. It was either mankind dies in 300 years or everyone dies in 10 to 20,000, so Omegon chose option 3. Omegon chose to do neither. He would not help Horus, nor would he help the Emperor. Unfortunately, Alpharius did not choose option 3, hence Alpharius joined up with Horus, meaning that in order for Omegon to choose to do option 3, he had to cancel out Alpharius' efforts. This is where all the confused as fuck Alpha Legion memes come from. Sure, Alpharius was still technically loyal in his own mind, but if we're honest, he absolutely wasn't loyal at all. However, Omegon was indeed acting to undo the efforts of Alpharius. He had to be sneaky though, as despite being Alpharius' twin, he was second in command. If Alpharius knew Omegon had chosen to undo his efforts, he likely would have destroyed him. Hence, the Horus Heresy was a confusing time for the Alpha Legion. They did indeed take part in the Istvan Dropsite massacre, the Alpha Legion being one of the reinforcing legions that betrayed the Salamanders, Iron Hands and Raven Guard and mowed them down. There was nothing Omegon could have done to stop that from happening. What he could do, however, was get the White Scars to Terra to help defend it. When the heresy broke out, a number of legions did not know who was on what side. The White Scars were the most confused out of everyone. Alpharius ordered Omegon to try to get the Khan to join Horus. Omegon could stop this. Hence, when his fleet approached the White Scars, instead of greeting them as brothers and negotiating with them, he instead blockaded them and antagonized them. He also blew up a signal jammer that allowed Rogel Dawn's warning of the heresy to reach Jagadai. Hence, he basically helped confirm Rogel's warning. Now, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows from Omegon. He still had to do some heretical shit, such as give Horus the map of the Sol System's defense, as well as fuck with Gulliman, although that second part was probably more for the lulz, to seem like he was helping Chaos. Alpharius soon engages in a duel with Dawn in a battle near Terra, and Alpharius is trying to tell Dawn about how the only way to win is by actually letting Horus win, which obviously makes no sense to Dawn, hence Dawn brutally kills Alpharius Mortal Kombat style. With Alpharius dead, Omegon takes command of the Alpha Legion and withdraws them from the Siege of Terra, as he no longer has to worry about Alpharius destroying him for sabotaging his plans. He still fought against the Loyalists, but it was more so for show and in pretty unimportant battles. If you think this is a little bit far-fetched, then listen. When the Biggie finds about Alpharius and the Alpha Legion betraying him, he says, I quote, "Alpharius, my son, what chance did you give my dream?" He does not mention Omegon betraying him because Omegon did not. When he was playing that weird 8D chess with Malkador that simulated possible Horus heresies, his move was to ensure that one of the Alpha Legion twins would remain loyalist at least, and that both of them going traitor would mean the destruction of Terra. So with the death of Alpharius, why isn't the Alpha Legion now just completely loyalist under Omegon? After all, it has been confirmed that due to Omegon's actions and the resurrection of Guilliman, the Cabal's two futures no longer exist and are invalid. Well, the Alpha Legion was and still is huge. Alpharius did not sit down with them all and explain how they were still loyalists but had to fight against the Emperor, because he likely would have been called a retard numerous times. Instead, he just twisted them and allowed them to be traitors. Numerous Alpha Legionnaires are very chaotic and mutated, their souls pledged to the Dark Gods. Hence, Omegon inherited a legion full of Chaos-aligned Space Marines, with only a small portion of Legionnaires that are still directly loyal to him and the Emperor. A large amount of these Chaos ones would have also broken off into their own warbands that are not controlled by Omegon, hence explaining when Alpha Legion just does evil shit with no overarching benefit to the Imperium. Despite this, Omegon still uses his Chaos Marines to the Imperium's benefit when he can. For example, the Siege of Vrax. When the siege first started, it did not involve chaos. The Imperium almost abandoned the siege as it was a waste of time and resources. Sure, the bad guys had really overpowered chemical weapons that would have been horrific if used on the Imperium, but the Imperium did not think they would do it, as the Rebellion faction was not obviously Chaos aligned. Then the Alpha Legion uncharacteristically rocked up, full to the brim with Chaos corruption, and then made it obvious that Vrax had to either be taken or destroyed. Seems weird that a covert legion would basically reveal their cards and cause the enemy to commit a large force against you. The Siege of Vrax ended with the chemical weapons out of Chaos's hands. If the Alpha Legion did not intervene, it's likely this would not have been the case. Once Horus was killed by the Emperor after turning the Emperor into a quadriplegic, the Alpha Legion were the only traitor legion that did not flee to the Eye of Terror. Seemingly, Omegon wanted to distance himself and his legion from the direct clutches and control of Chaos. If he set up shop on a demon world, it would only be a matter of time before he fell and his legion claimed by Titsnitch. Now each Primarch has a special ability. For Rogel Dawn, his willpower is able to calm the warp around him. Conrad can see the future, Vulcan can't die, and Magnus is a powerful psyker. For Alpharius and Omegon, their special power seems to be making demi-Primarchs that could act as their body doubles. Occasionally, they would choose an especially tall and skilled Alpha Legionnaire to be granted extra strength by the Primarchs. That Legionnaire would then be given a copy of Alpharius and Omegon's armor and would fight in their place. This process was difficult and was rare, as if it was easy, they would turn the whole legion into OP demi-Primarchs. The chosen Alpha Legionnaire would be powerful, able to tear through other Space Marines, however would not be able to match another Primarch. For example, Guilliman killed one, and Guilliman ain't exactly the best fighter out there. So what do we know for sure? We know that Alpharius is dead, we know that Omegon is a loyalist and is attempting to use his corrupted legion for the good of the Emperor, and we know that I am the greatest Warhammer lore YouTuber out there. And that does us for today guys, the lore and story of the Alpha Legion and their twin Primarchs. In regards to the Majorkill minis that you may know about from watching my videos, in the spirit of transparency, there's been a small delay with the 3D printing of those, as there was some miscommunication which led to some quality issues. Those issues are nearly fixed, and I think we can agree that a week or two delay is better than a shitty final product. For anything I sell to you guys, quality is the number one thing I have on my mind, so I hope I haven't let people down with the delay. In the meantime, the minis are still available to purchase. We've sold about 70% of the total volume we will be printing, so get in before they're gone. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per month gives you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai, and $10 gives you access to the Majorkill hentai calendar. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more confusing content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.